Who among you are familiar with these logos? Any show of hands? Okay, everyone, 100%, hindi lang 90%. So 100% of us knows about all these logos. Okay. Another question. What is the one thing that attracts us to use and patronize these services? Discount, okay, what else? What's the main thing that attracts you to them? Convenience. Good job. A+. Okay. Convenience. When we use all these apps, no, we are able to continue with something or do something without difficulty. It also saves time and effort. Diba? Like for example, from in the tip of your fingers, using your phone, you can order your food, let it be delivered at the doors of your house. Diba? Sometimes if you want to bring something to your friend and wala kang time, you just call Lalamove, ask Lalamove to bring this to your friend's house, and they deliver it at the doorstep of your friend's house. If you come here at YMCA, what do you usually call? Grab, cab. They fetch you where? Huh? At your lift lobby. And then where they bring you? At the car park. So it's very convenient. You don't need to do so much effort. Just ride the car, go out, lift, come down, and sit down at the sanctuary, right? You see, all of these are applications or services that provides us convenience. And the enticement of this convenience is undeniable. For one, it makes our life very easy. It makes our schedules flexible. Whatever we're doing, we want something, click of your finger, andyan na. And it becomes intertwined in our routines, shaping our expectations and preferences. The more we use these applications or these conveniences, these services that provide convenience to us, the more we crave to use them. Do you agree or not? Yeah. Why? Because andali, it's very easy. It makes my life very easy. If you want food, walang battery yung phone mo, you have to go down to the hawker center. Queue dun sa mainit na hawker center just to get your food, and it's very inconvenient, right? So this has become a part of our lifestyle that sometimes when we have to make decisions and choices, one of our criteria is what? What is one criteria now when we have to make decision? Is this convenient for me? So sometimes, when we wanted to do something, which our goal is to achieve for the greater good of something, and then it requires you to leave this comfort zone and ask you to go to this other side, which gives you inconvenience. Where do we draw the line? Are we willing to go to the other side of the line? So this brings us to our title this afternoon, which is Beyond Boundaries. Sometimes we make a boundary of things that we do. And boundaries, beyond boundaries, is a description of something that is more than typically expected or accepted. So it is, like for you, it is beyond your comfort zone. It is going beyond our limit. You know, when I was in college, my first course was social work. Anybody knows what social work is? And it was enrollment time, and I needed to go to school para magpa-register and enroll. And so during that time, what we normally do, my parents and I go to school, get the schedule of my payments, and then go back home, show them how much I need to pay, and then they will make a way for me to be able to pay my tuition fee. Installment basis, 780 pesos for my initial payment. after that, I was wondering I told my dad, pwede bang can I just pay full payment na lang? If you can. Kasi it's very inconvenient for me. Every month, I need to queue in the registrar's office just to pay for my monthly tuition fee. Ang haba ng pila every time. Kasi almost all the students in the school, pumipila. So, sabi ng dad ko, pwede naman, actually, we can. We can pay the full amount. But then, we need to help Gemma. Gemma is one of our young people in the Philippines. Sabi niya, we need to help Gemma enroll also in school today. And we have to pay 3,000 pesos. Sabi ko, what? You're going to pay for her tuition fee, which costs 3,000 pesos today. Yeah, because today is the last day. If we don't help her pay, she will never be able to get into school. And dati, naka-promissory note na siya. So now, we need to help her. Then I was dumbfounded. Sabi ko, what? I'm your daughter. Can you not, help me na lang? Ako na lang. So I cannot understand. I said, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Beyond my convenience. I'm supposed to enjoy something na 100% full payment of my tuition fee. Pero hindi. My dad decided to give it to somebody else. Although there was already a set amount of 780 for my initial payment. My father is a pastor in the Philippines. And bless his heart, he's already with the Father in heaven. Now I realized why he does that. He did that actually. Because of his love for the Lord. And I know he has shown me how much he has trusted the Lord for the remaining payment of my tuition fee. So that's one thing na gusto kong maiwan sa inyo this afternoon. That giving beyond convenience is trusting God. And my dad showed me that. Although it was out of my convenience, sa inconvenience ko, he was able to show how much he trusted God for my tuition fee. And the act of him giving that to somebody else was because of a greater purpose also. And now I understand that. So, giving beyond convenience, sometimes we need to stretch our limit just to achieve something greater and for a greater purpose. So, if you are ready with our conversation this afternoon, we will be learning about a lady, a woman, an unnamed woman, who in spite of her situation in her life, has gone beyond her convenience because of her trust in God. This is the way how she has showed her trust in God. So as a background of our story, our text actually is taken in Mark 12, verses 41 to 44. So before the chapter of our story this afternoon, just to give you a background and to have a context of our story, Jesus, a few days before our story, he was in the temple actually. And when he came into the temple, he saw that there were so many people inside the temple. And what he saw was, it seems to be like a business establishment. Jesus was so angry, na-disappoint siya. He said, what are you doing inside my house? Why are you doing all this? Why have you turned it into a den of thieves? May nagtitinda, may bumibili, may nagma-money changing. So he was so angry, he toppled all the tables, cleaned up the area. And do you know what? The teachers of the law, the religious teachers that were there on that time, were so angry. Instead of they being the ones who are teaching the people, treat the temple as a sacred temple, a place of prayer. Pero they all knew that this was happening inside the temple. And they just allowed the people to do that inside the temple. So Jesus was so angry. I was wondering, no, bakit kaya nagalit yung mga Pharisees? Dapat nga sila yung mag-clean up ng temple. Then I realized, siguro, because they know about this, they were part of the business siguro, no? So nawalan sila ng kita. Nawalan sila ng kita, kaya nagalit sila kay Jesus and they wanted to kill Jesus. And moving forward, before the verse before our text, Jesus was giving a warning to the disciples. And he said this as a warning, to beware of the teachers of the law. Bakit kaya? Why was Jesus giving this warning to them? Jesus said in Mark 12, verses 38 and so on, he said, these teachers of the law, which are supposed to be maintaining order inside the temple, they like to parade around in flowing robes and receive greetings. Ang gaganda ng suot nila. And they always want to roam around and be greeted by people. Ang gaganda ng suot. Siguro that's one of the benefit of being part of the business in the temple of the money changing. They love the seats of honor. Gustong-gusto nilang to have the best seats of all. And lastly, this is one warning that Jesus gave to the disciples. And I want you to remember this. He said, they, referring to the teachers of the law, the religious leaders, they shamelessly cheat widows out of their property and pretend to be pious by making long prayers. In our story this afternoon, we will be talking about one widow. And as it is described in the scriptures, the widows are being cheated by the religious leaders. So in our story this afternoon, in Mark 12, let's continue. Mark 12:41 says, Jesus sat down near the collection box in the temple. So after all the ruckus that happened during his time of cleaning up the temple, up to the time that he went to back to the temple and taught the people and warned them about the religious leaders, siguro Jesus was a bit tired and he wanted to rest. And so Jesus sat down. He sat down near the collection box in the temple. You know, the temple where our story is happening is a very, very big temple. So you see in our illustration here, this is the temple of Herod, Herod's temple. During Herod's time, this is the temple. And actually, in the commentary, it says that it's around 20-something, 25 football field. That's how big and massive this temple was. And the collection boxes are in the middle. Okay, in the middle there. So if we zoom it in, the collection boxes are located at the court of women. They called it the court of women. What an interesting fact, no? Is the offering chest pala during that time is like a trumpet-shaped offering receptacle. Para siyang funnel. Yan. Malaki sa taas, tapos pababa, and then goes into a box where all the coins go in. So, these receptacles are made of brass. So, can you imagine if you are going to drop in a coin, what happens? May sound. Tung! Magsa-sound siyang ganyan if you drop in the coin. Right? So, moving on so just for you to imagine what's happening in our story. So, Jesus was sitting near the collection box and looking at people, watching them. And he watched as the crowds dropped in their money. Ang watch pala in Greek is theorio. Ang hirap ibigkas. And it means to look closely and attentively with interest and purpose. So Jesus was watching. If he was watching, that means he was looking closely at the people. He was attentive and interested in each one who was there One of my subjects in college, when I was taking social work, was Human Behavior and Social Environment, HBSE. And we have to take this for 2 semesters. And my teacher, our professor, always asks us to make a report about our observance of one person. The personality, how he reacts, why he reacted this way, why he talks that way, why he acts that way, diba? So, what we do, my friends and I, what we do after school, we go to a park. You know, I realized that if you observe people pala, you will see the little details. Siguro even yung ganun ng kanyang eyes, makikita mo. Kasi intent ang pag-observe mo sa kanya eh. Intent and closely. Jesus was watching, and when he was watching, many people put in large amounts. So imagine, he was sitting down near the collection box, watching. And so he saw many people, rich people, put in large amounts. I was wondering, paano kaya nalaman na large amount yung binigay? Imagine the offering chest. So, siguro, if a person is there, 13 minutes na siyang nandun, ibig sabihin, he was giving a lot, di ba? Pero kung ang isang tao nandun, wala pang 1 minute, umalis na, konti lang binigay. Siguro nga, I was imagining, if there was voice activation during that time, siguro pag naglagay yung marami, ang dami, ang dami, ang dami, ang dami. Right? Pag konti lang, katiting, katiting, katiting. And just to sidetrack a bit, if some of us are blessed and have extra, we have comfortable life, it's not bad to be rich. Brothers and sisters, it's a blessing also. God blessed Abraham, God blessed King Solomon with so much. Siguro in our time now, milyonaryo na sila. Ang tawag sa kanila, millionaires or billionaires. My point is, if we are blessed, set our hearts on the riches that we have, and let us guard our hearts with every kind of greed, because life is not measured by how much we own. It's just a reminder for everyone. And to continue with our story, then a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins. So after the rich, Jesus observed, a rich came, put so much. Then a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins. Can you see the description? It's very specific. It says, poor widow. How did he know that she was a poor widow? Do you know that during that time, widows are the most vulnerable people? They have nothing. Pag sinabing widow, they don't have anyone to depend on. Nakakalungkot, di ba? If they still have parents, kunyari may tatay pa yung na widow, he can stay with the father, and the father will take care of her. Pag may son siya, then the son can take her in, and he will take care of the widow. But if you don't have, that means you cannot depend on anyone else. And this poor widow dropped in 2 small coins. You know, in the previous verse before our story, the Lord was giving a warning about the religious leaders, that they take advantage of widows and rob them of their homes. So, during that time also, the widows are the ones that it was commanded that they are the ones that we should take care of, that the people should take care of, the widows and the fatherless. But it seems that in our story, she is not being taken cared of. Actually, she was taken advantage of pa. It says in our previous verse that she dropped in 2 small coins. And these 2 small coins during that time is called a mite or a lepton. That's their term during that time. And the description was, a mite is a very small coin. Shall we read it? It is a what? small coin, and what else? Lowest in value. Maliit na, ang liit pa ng value. That's how her mite was. And if we compare it to the coins during that time, see how big are the other coins? And there's the widow's mite, very small in comparison to all of the coins during that time. And the description in the commentary, that the 2 mites was equivalent to 1/64 of a denarius. This is the denarius here below. So if your wage, during that time, the description is, a day's wage is 1 denarius. Denarius ba or denari? And so the widow's mite was equivalent to 1/64 of a denarii. I cannot explain to you how much it really cost, but in terms of our money now, let's say $50 is your daily wage. So $50, what is 1/64 of $50? How much is it? 78 cents. So that's the cost of her mite. And the mite actually is not one lang na coin. 2 coin yun eh. A mite is equivalent to 2 coins. So if you divide the 78 into 2, that is 38. 38 pa yung equivalent ng isang coin na yon. So, can you see how much she had given in comparison to those who gave much? Jesus called his disciples to him. So Jesus called. Tinawag niya ngayon, he called his disciples after he saw the rich and the poor widow. He called his disciples to him and said, I tell you the truth. This poor widow has given more than all the others who are making contributions. When Jesus say, I tell you the truth, he's like saying that, hey, come, listen to me. I have something to tell you, very important, that you need to learn. And so, he called them and said, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has given more than all the others. Siguro kung ako rin ang nandoon, if I were there again, I would tell Jesus, hey, Jesus, are you sure you know what you're talking about? You said she has given more when in fact she has just given two coins with the lowest value, and you say she has given more. Sometimes in human perspective, in our perspective, we measure more by the amount. Sometimes when you buy a watch, kunyari, may Rolex ka, it is valuable to you because it costs much. Right? So in God's eyes, in His perspective, in His view, it's different. He doesn't look at the value or the amount. God does not look at the value of the amount given, but He looks at the intention of our hearts. The disciples did not understand why Jesus was saying she has given more. Going on to the next verse, it says, for they, referring to the rich people, gave a tiny part of their surplus. Surplus. When you cook your food, say a family of 4, you cook just enough for 4. After you have eaten everything, you had your fill, busog na busog ka na, may natira. There's leftover. This is what you call surplus. Sobra. Excess. You already have your fill. You're comfortable already. And imagine what was the description that was given by the Lord Jesus Christ to the rich people. They gave a tiny part of their surplus. He was describing proportion of what was given. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she had to live on. Jesus was showing us the proportion of the gift or the offering. The surplus is this, and they give only a tiny part of this whole. While the poor widow had this whole, and she gave everything. She didn't give just a tiny part. She gave it all. It may be just 2 cents, but it is her all. It is her all for her living. I was imagining, why didn't the widow leave 1 coin for herself? Di ba? For us, sometimes, when we give, sometimes we look at our convenience muna. If I give all of this, will I have something left for myself? The widow, showing us her gift, shows us the value of the gift is determined by what cost the giver. She is teaching us here. She showed us that the value of our gift that we give is not about how much it is, but how much it cost her. It cost her life. There's nothing left. She cannot, maybe if after she have left the temple, she's not going to eat anymore. Wala na siyang pambili ng kanyang dinner. But she gave it anyway. So poor as she was, she has given everything she had to live on. How are we, mga kapatid? You know, giving everything. The Lord is not teaching us to give everything na i-empty mo na yung pocket mo, wala ka nang kakainin tomorrow. That's not it. He's saying that, are you able to give beyond your convenience? Are you able to give? Think about it. Nandito ako, I am in this status in my life where I am comfortable. I'm comfortable with what I have. I am comfortable with my time. I'm comfortable with my job. If I am to be asked by God to do something, am I able to give beyond this convenience that I am experiencing right now? You know, the widow showed us that giving beyond convenience is trusting God. She did not think about what she will eat next for the next day or for her dinner. She did not think about that. She just gave because she trusted God. Trusted God that God would provide for her. You know, the widow is challenging us. Sometimes it's so difficult to make a decision when we are supposed to, for the greater good, let's say, sending somebody, helping somebody, giving to the church for our missions, using our talent for the ministry. When we are asked to give, to share, at what point in our life can we give na hindi natin kinoconsider yung comfortable or yung convenience na ibibigay sa atin? Most of the time, we are asked to give beyond our convenience. Beyond our convenience. Give our time. You know, our Acts ministry went for a soup kitchen, and our coordinators asked us to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to prepare. Kasi kailangan we have to be in the soup kitchen at 5 a.m. to volunteer. What we did was to cook food, prepare food, pack the food, and all this food are given to those low-income families of Singapore. So our coordinators asked us to, okay, our call time is 4:45 in the morning. Oh my goodness, ang kasarapan ng pagtulog pa yan. But we need to go there 4:45. We thought nobody would sign up. But you know what? There were around 42 people who signed up and joined, sacrificed their sleeping time, got out from their convenience and their comfortable beds to come and participate in showing God's love by volunteering and giving their time to help the needy. Napakasarap, mga kapatid. How has convenience affected your relationship with Jesus Christ? Sometimes when we travel to our workplace, we don't have time to read our Bibles. So in the convenience of our hands in our phone, we just click. Sometimes we just look at it. We don't meditate on it. We don't meditate on the verse. We just read it because it's in our Bible app. Okay, done. Very convenient. But did you have that moment with God? Sometimes it's so difficult because we have been used. The world has already taught us convenience. And one of the criteria we use when we do our choices is it comfortable for me? Is it convenient for me? So I challenge you, brothers and sisters, think about it. Think about your relationship with God. Are you just giving your convenient time? Like, you just come to church, that's convenient, just for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Then you go home, go back to your normal life, convenient. We need to go to Koinonia, 7:30 in the evening and Sundays. I need to rush because I come from work. Do you really rush or you just take time? Wait lang, ang dami ko pang, I need to take my time. Magre-rest mo na ako. So pagdating mo sa Koinonia, you're late na, kainan na pala. Tapos na yung study. Convenience. How does it affect our relationship with Jesus? You know, when we came to Singapore, Romel and I, kaming dalawa lang. And, you know, life is, in Singapore is masyadong high standard. So high standard. So the first time we came here, we just rented a room. We cannot rent our own home kasi it's not enough. So we just rent a room. After 2 years, we brought in our children. So the more na mas mahirap. So we still stay in one room, but with 2 kids already. And with the salary that Romel has, we have to budget it wisely. Pay for our home, for our room pala. Buy for our kids milk, diapers, and all. Talagang set aside na yun. We do that first. After that, then we give. And the rest, we use it for our expenses. It took time. It was hard. It was really difficult, mga kapatid. Wala naman madali, di ba? It was really difficult. We have to budget our money accordingly. And sometimes, you know what? Nakakahiya mang sabihin. There were times during that times, no, that instead of us giving our tithes, we hold it back. Kasi kulang eh. Pag binigay natin to, wala tayong kakainin for the next 2 weeks. Kasi saktong-sakto lang. Nakakahiya, di ba? God rebuked us because of that na ginawa namin. We were already serving in church. And it was so shameful. Us holding back what is supposed to be given to God. But then, you know, this rebuke was such a learning moment for us. This made us trust in God no matter how hard it is. Sa una lang pala yun. Sa una lang pala yun, mga kapatid. It was hard for us because we were not used to it. But then, after a long while, you know, God was so faithful. Hindi nagkulang. Hindi talaga nagkulang. As in, saktong-sakto. Sometimes, we only have $15 in our ATM. Totoo to. $15 na lang natitira. Next week, na ang sweldo ni Romel. So $15, we need to buy food. Para sa aming dalawa kasi yung milk ng bata, okay na. Yung diapers nila, okay na. So sa amin na lang dalawa. So punta kami sa NTUC. Mag-grocery kami for our last week. Bili kami. Akala namin, we thought we had $15 in our card. So we paid. Oh my goodness, when we were about to pay, kulang pa pala. We don't have enough. Sabi ni Romel, naku, bakit ayaw? Sabi niya, oh, cannot accept. Cannot accept. Oh, why ah? Alam mo naman yung stand ng, why ah? Kunyari lang para hindi mapahiya, no? Why ah? No, can, you try again. Try. No, cannot. Not enough. Okay, I go and draw money. Draw money. Hindi po draw money yun. Umuwi na kami. Kasi nakakahiya eh. Wala kaming pangbayad. Totoo to, nangyari sa amin talaga to. We were at Chongbaro that time. But then during that $15 you can buy one roasted chicken worth $3.50. Naabutan niyo pa ba yun? $3.50. And that was enough for us. You see, it's a matter of how you budget your money and how you trust God. Hindi na kami we didn't, crave for yung masasarap pang food. Meron naman palang chicken that's worth $3.50 that can fill us for the rest of the week. So praise God. This taught us so much lesson in our life. And from that day on, whenever we receive something, we put God first. We give to Him first. It became our way. Before we do something with what we receive, we give, we offer to God first. And God, ikaw na pong bahala for the rest and make it enough for us. And truly, God was faithful to provide for us for the rest of our lives. And until now, praise God, the Lord is so faithful. He is really faithful. And I challenge you, brothers and sisters, unahin natin ang Panginoon. Just try Him. Try. And see what He does in your life. Just prioritize God in our life in everything that we do. Try to give beyond your convenience. You know, the widow gave beyond her inconvenience. Actually, she is already in a state of inconvenience, but she gave out of her inconvenience because of her trust in God. So brothers and sisters, I challenge you, challenge every one of us to prioritize God in everything that we do. We prioritize Him in our time. We prioritize Him in our giving. We prioritize Him in whatever abilities that we have to serve Him. Join us in the ministry. Every day, every Sunday, I hear Sister Melba and Sister Tintin encouraging each one. Come, join us, join the ushering team, join the prayer warriors. Come, join us. It's a way of trusting God for our lives and showing earnest devotion to Him. So my challenge for you, another question that I will leave for you to ponder on when you go home, or on your way home, in your taxi, or in the MRT. What are my 2 copper coins? What are your 2 copper coins? What are your conveniences that you can give up for the Lord? And how can you give them to Him? Just like the poor widow, how can we give our all to our Savior, to the one who gave us life, to the one who has already provided everything for us? How will we give and respond to His love for us?